The research facility hummed with quiet anticipation. Woo Sung-min stood before the massive holographic display, his fingers dancing across translucent screens filled with historic battle maps. Outside the reinforced windows, the city of Seoul stretched beneath a pale morning sky, unaware of the extraordinary presentation about to unfold. The alien research team watched silently from their observation deck. Kiral, a senior researcher with skin like polished silver and eyes that shifted colors with every emotion, leaned forward with intense curiosity. His assistants, three smaller beings with delicate neural tendrils, monitored every minute detail of the human's presentation. Sung-min understood this was more than a simple historical review. The alien delegation had specifically requested a comprehensive analysis of humanity's most critical military conflicts, particularly World War II. Their interest seemed unusual, almost calculated. He began by projecting images of massive naval fleet soldiers trudging through mud-filled trenches and aerial combat that defied previous understanding of warfare. Each image told a story of human survival, innovation, and unexpected resilience. The World War II archives revealed something extraordinary, a species capable of transforming absolute devastation into remarkable technological advancement. Tanks that evolved from simple metal boxes to complex war machines, aircraft that changed design within months, communication systems that broke through enemy lines with unprecedented speed. Kirill's neural tendrils flickered with rapid information exchange. His assistants began compiling data, their alien computational systems struggling to process the complexity of human strategic thinking. Sung-min knew the stakes were high. This wasn't just a presentation. This was humanity's first potential meaningful interaction with an advanced extraterrestrial civilization. Every word, every image, every strategic explanation could determine future relationships. He zoomed into the Battle of Midway, a naval conflict that represented a turning point in the Pacific theater. The holographic display showed tiny ship representations moving with mathematical precision. Each movement represented human courage, tactical brilliance, and an understanding of warfare that transcended simple combat. The alien researchers remained absolutely still. Their technology was advanced, their computational abilities far beyond human comprehension. Yet something about human military history fascinated them, a raw, unpredictable element that their perfectly structured societies could never fully understand. Sung-min's presentation continued. He explained how nations with limited resources managed to develop technologies that would change global dynamics forever, how human creativity emerged from desperate circumstances, how communication, strategy, and unexpected innovation became weapons more powerful than traditional military might. Kirill's eyes, now a deep emerald green, suggested growing respect. The human before them wasn't just presenting history. He was revealing the genetic code of human survival. The room temperature seemed to drop slightly. Static electricity crackled between the holographic displays. Sung-min noticed the alien researchers, exchanging rapid communication through their neural networks. Something in his presentation had triggered more than academic interest. He knew humans were being evaluated, not just as a species, but as a potential galactic participant. World War II wasn't just a conflict. It was a testament to human potential. Outside, Seoul continued its morning rhythm. Traffic moved. People walked. No one knew that inside this research facility, humanity's first true extraterrestrial evaluation was taking place. Sung-min took a deep breath. He understood that each word, each image, each strategic explanation carried weight beyond simple historical documentation. This was humanity's opportunity to show its true nature, not as conquerors, but as a species capable of extraordinary adaptation. The holographic display flickered. Battles transformed into data points. Soldiers became strategic movements. Destruction became innovation. And somewhere in the background, the alien researchers watched, evaluated, calculated. Humanity's story was just beginning. The conference room felt charged with an unusual energy. Dr. Park Hyun-ki adjusted his glasses, his hands trembling slightly as he prepared to dive deeper into humanity's most complex military strategies. The alien research team watched with unblinking intensity, their neural networks humming with anticipation. Outside, a light rain began to fall against the research facility's windows. The droplets seemed to mirror the tension building inside the room, each drop a potential carrier of groundbreaking revelation. Hyun-Ki started with Stalingrad, a battle that represented more than military conflict. He explained how humans could transform absolute desperation into unexpected victory. The holographic display came alive, showing tiny soldier representations moving through impossible conditions, freezing temperatures, limited supplies, near total destruction. Kirill, the lead alien researcher, leaned forward. His silvery skin rippled with subtle color changes, a sign of deep intellectual engagement. The human's ability to explain complex, strategic movements fascinated him. The presentation revealed something extraordinary about human nature. When pushed to absolute limits, they didn't just survive, they innovated. A tank design modified in battlefield conditions. Communication, systems rebuilt from broken equipment. Strategic thinking that transformed apparent defeat into potential victory. Midway became the next focus. Hyun-Ki explained how a smaller naval force could outmaneuver a significantly larger opponent through calculated risk and unexpected strategy. The holographic ships moved like complex chess pieces, each movement representing hours of human planning and incredible courage. The alien researchers began collecting data at unprecedented speeds. Their computational systems worked overtime, trying to understand the complex human decision-making process. How could a species so seemingly fragile demonstrate such remarkable adaptability? Hyun-Ki's voice remained steady, but his hands told a different story. They moved with passion, illustrating each strategic point. He wasn't just presenting history, he was telling a story of human potential. The room temperature seemed to drop. Static electricity crackled between the holographic displays. Something significant was happening beyond a simple historical presentation. D-Day became the next focus. Hyun-Ki explained the complex coordination required for the largest amphibious invasion in human history. Thousands of ships, tens of thousands of soldiers, multiple nations working together with precision that defied previous military understanding. Kirill's neural tendrils began rapid information exchange with his assistants. They were no longer passive observers. They were active participants in understanding a species that defied their previous computational models. The presentation continued. Each battle became more than a historical moment. They were windows into human potential, strategic thinking that emerged from chaos, innovation born from absolute limitation. Hyun-Ki spoke about communication systems developed in battlefield conditions, how soldiers would create new methods of sharing critical information when traditional systems failed, how human creativity became a weapon more powerful than any technological advantage. The alien researchers remained absolutely still. Their technology was advanced, their computational abilities far beyond human comprehension. Yet something about human military history fascinated them, a raw, unpredictable element that their perfectly structured societies could never fully understand. Outside, Seoul continued its afternoon rhythm. Traffic moved, people walked. No one knew that inside this research facility, humanity's true nature was being evaluated by an extraterrestrial intelligence. Hyun-Ki took a deep breath. He understood that each word carried weight beyond simple historical documentation. This was humanity's opportunity to show its true potential, not as violent conquerors, but as a species capable of extraordinary adaptation and cooperation. The holographic display flickered. Battles transformed into data points. Soldiers became strategic movements. Destruction became a pathway to innovation. Kirill's eyes, now a deep emerald green, suggested growing respect. The human before them wasn't just presenting history. He was revealing the genetic code of human survival. As the presentation concluded, something fundamental had changed. The alien researchers were no longer just observers. They were witnesses to a species that could transform limitation into opportunity. Humanity's story was far from over. In fact, It was just beginning to be understood. The research facility buzzed with electric anticipation. Wu Sungmin's fingers danced across holographic displays, revealing humanity's most remarkable technological transformations. Each image told a story of innovation born from impossible circumstances. The alien research team watched with growing fascination. Their computational systems struggled to process the rapid technological evolution they were witnessing. Kirill, the lead researcher, realized something profound was happening. Humans were not just survivors but creators of extraordinary technological miracles. Sungmin began explaining how World War II transformed human technological understanding. Simple radio communications became complex encryption systems. Basic metal structures evolved into advanced aircraft designs. Mechanical calculations transformed into early computer technologies. The Manhattan Project became a focal point. Lee demonstrated how a small group of scientists could develop something that would change global dynamics forever. The alien researchers' neural networks flickered with intense curiosity. How could a species under such extreme pressure create something so revolutionary? Outside, the city of Seoul continued its daily rhythm, completely unaware of the extraordinary presentation happening within the research facility. Rain began to fall, creating a soft background rhythm to the intense technological exploration. Kirill noticed something unique about human technological development. Unlike their own highly structured technological progression, human innovation seemed chaotic, unpredictable, almost organic. Technologies emerged from desperate needs, transformed through human creativity and unexpected thinking. Radar technology captured special attention. Sungmin explained how scientists rapidly developed systems that could detect distant objects, changing warfare forever. The holographic display showed primitive early designs transforming into complex detection systems within months. The alien researchers began comprehensive data collection. Each technological breakthrough represented more than a military advancement. It was a window into human potential, a species capable of transforming absolute limitation into unprecedented innovation. Computational technologies fascinated them most. Early mechanical calculators used in military operations became the foundation for future computer systems. Humans took limited resources and created something extraordinary. Sungmin's presentation revealed how wartime pressures accelerated technological development. Aircraft designs changed dramatically. Communication systems became more complex. Medical technologies advanced at unprecedented rates. Kirill's neural tendrils began rapid information exchange. His assistants worked overtime, trying to understand the complex human innovation process. How could a species develop so quickly under such extreme conditions? The room temperature seemed to drop. Static electricity crackled between holographic displays. Something significant was happening beyond a simple technological presentation. Humanity was revealing its true potential. Jet engine development became another critical focus. Sungmin explained how limited resources and urgent military needs transformed basic propulsion concepts into advanced technological systems. The holographic display showed detailed engine designs evolving within short time periods. The alien researchers remained absolutely still. Their advanced technologies seemed primitive compared to the human capacity for rapid innovation. Each presentation point challenged their understanding of technological development. Chemical innovations fascinated them. Sungmin explained how wartime pressures transformed basic scientific understanding. New materials, advanced medical treatments, rapid industrial processes. Each innovation represented human creativity under extreme pressure. Kirill's eyes, now a deep emerald green, suggested growing respect. The human before them wasn't just presenting technological history, he was revealing the genetic code of human innovation. Communication technologies received special attention. How humans developed complex encryption systems, created new communication methods, and transformed information sharing became a critical point of exploration. The presentation continued, revealing layer after layer of human technological potential. Each slide represented more than historical documentation. They were windows into human creativity, showing a species capable of transforming absolute limitation into unprecedented opportunity. As the presentation concluded, something fundamental had changed. The alien researchers were no longer passive observers. They were witnesses to a species that could transform desperate circumstances into technological miracles. Sungmin took a deep breath. He understood that this presentation was humanity's opportunity to show its true potential, not as a primitive species, but as extraordinary creators of technological wonders. The holographic display flickered. Technologies transformed into data points. Limitations became pathways to innovation. Humanity's technological story was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning to be understood. The research facility suddenly became quiet. Too quiet. Dr. Park Hyun-ki noticed the alien researchers' communication nodes beginning to pulse with an unusual rhythm. Something was changing. Kirill, the lead alien researcher, adjusted his neural interface. His silvery skin rippled with complex color patterns, a sign of intense internal communication. The human presentation had triggered more than academic interest. It had activated some deeper, more complex protocol. Unexpected communication signals began appearing on the facility's advanced tracking systems. Hyun-ki's assistant, a young technician named Lee Jin-woo, watched the screens with growing tension. Strange mathematical patterns danced across holographic displays, unlike anything they had seen before. "Something's happening," Jin-woo whispered, his fingers moving quickly across the control panel. The alien researchers were no longer passive observers. Their neural networks began intense computational exchanges. What had started as a historical presentation was transforming into something far more significant, a potential first genuine interstellar communication attempt. Kirill moved closer to the human presentation team. His movements were calculated, precise. Each step suggested a complex decision-making process far beyond human understanding. The research facility's environmental systems seemed to respond to his presence. Temperature shifting, electrical systems subtly adjusting. Hyun-ki maintained professional composure, but his heart raced. Years of training had prepared him for potential extraterrestrial interaction, but nothing could truly prepare someone for this moment. Unexpected communication protocols activated. Mathematical sequences began forming complex patterns. The alien researchers were attempting communication through a language beyond human verbal or written understanding. Jin-woo's computer systems started receiving strange data packets. Complex mathematical equations, geometric patterns that seemed to breathe and move, information that existed between mathematical logic and something entirely unknown. "Sir," Jin-woo called to Hyun-ki, "we're receiving something." The alien communication nodes pulsed faster. Their color changed from soft silver to deep emerald green, a color that seemed to carry emotional and intellectual complexity. Kirill raised what could be described as a hand, a communication gesture that suggested both respect and profound curiosity. The human team understood something fundamental was happening. This was more than an academic exchange. This was first contact. Outside, Seoul continued its afternoon rhythm. Traffic moved. People walked. Completely unaware that humanity's most significant moment was unfolding within this research facility. The facility's advanced communication systems began receiving complex data streams. Mathematical sequences that seemed to carry emotional and intellectual content. Not just information, but something more profound, a potential method of understanding beyond human current comprehension. Hyun-ki realized they were being evaluated, not just as researchers, but as representatives of an entire species. Every movement, every reaction, every subtle communication gesture carried immense significance. Kirill's neural tendrils began rapid information exchange with his research team. Their computational systems worked at speeds incomprehensible to human understanding. They were processing humanity's entire historical presentation, extracting complex layers of information. The room's atmospheric pressure changed subtly. Static electricity began dancing between holographic displays. Communication was happening on levels beyond human sensory perception. Jin-woo's computer system started translating fragments of the alien communication. mathematical equations that carried emotional content, geometric patterns that seemed alive. Information existing between logic and something entirely unknown. Hyun-Ki understood this moment's significance. Humanity was no longer alone. First contact was happening, not through traditional communication methods, but through a complex exchange of historical understanding. The alien researchers continued their intense computational exchange. Their communication, nodes pulsed with increasing complexity. What had begun as a historical presentation was transforming into humanity's most significant moment. As evening approached, the research facility remained charged with extraordinary potential. Humanity stood on the edge of something unprecedented. First contact was happening, quietly, professionally, through the universal language of shared understanding. The story was just beginning. The research facility glowed with an unusual light. Dr. Park Hyun-Ki stood at the center of a moment that would change human history forever. Alien researchers surrounded him, their communication nodes pulsing with complex rhythms. Kirill, the lead alien researcher, moved closer. His silvery skin reflected soft light, creating an almost magical atmosphere. What had begun as a simple historical presentation had transformed into humanity's first genuine interstellar diplomatic encounter. Something extraordinary was happening. The World War II presentation had become more than a historical review. It was a bridge between two entirely different civilizations. Jin-Woo, the young technician, monitored complex communication systems. Strange mathematical sequences danced across holographic displays. Each pattern suggested a language beyond human understanding, a communication method that existed between logic and pure emotion. "We are listening," Kirill communicated through a series of complex neural pulses. Hyun-Ki understood the weight of this moment. Every word, every gesture carried potential for either profound connection or total misunderstanding. Humanity's entire historical journey was being evaluated through this single interaction. The facility's advanced systems captured every minute detail. Communication happened on multiple levels: mathematical sequences, emotional patterns, historical understanding. Something fundamental was changing in how species might interact across galactic distances. Outside, Seoul continued its normal rhythm. People walked streets, traffic moved, completely unaware that humanity's most significant moment was unfolding within this research facility. Kirill's research team began sharing complex data streams. Their computational systems processed human historical information at speeds impossible for human understanding. World War II wasn't just a conflict, it was a testament to human potential. Mathematical equations carried emotional content, geometric patterns seemed alive. Information existed between pure logic and something entirely unknown. Hyun-Ki realized they were building an interstellar bridge, not through traditional diplomatic channels, but through a shared understanding of survival, innovation, and human resilience. The room's atmospheric pressure changed subtly. Static electricity danced between holographic displays. Communication happened on levels beyond human sensory perception. "Your species demonstrates extraordinary potential," Kirill communicated through complex neural pulses. Humanity's story of survival became a universal language. How humans transformed limitation into opportunity. How creativity emerged from desperate circumstances. How innovation could change entire planetary dynamics. Jin-Woo's systems continued translating fragments of alien communication. Each translation revealed something profound about potential interstellar relationships. This wasn't just first contact, this was the beginning of a new understanding. Kirill's neural tendrils flickered with rapid information exchange. The human presentation had challenged everything their civilization understood about technological and strategic development. The facility became a bridge between worlds. Historical documentation transformed into a complex diplomatic encounter. Humanity was no longer an isolated species. They were potential galactic participants. Evening approached. The research facility remained charged with extraordinary potential. Soft lights reflected off advanced communication systems. Mathematical sequences continued their complex dance. "We want to understand," the alien researchers communicated. Hyun-Ki took a deep breath. He understood. This moment represented more than a single interaction. This was humanity's opportunity to show its true nature, not as conquerors, but as a species capable of extraordinary adaptation and understanding. The holographic displays continued their complex patterns. Historical battles transformed into potential diplomatic connections. Destruction became a pathway to mutual understanding. Kirill's eyes, now a deep emerald green, suggested growing respect. The humans before them weren't just presenting history. They were revealing the potential for interstellar cooperation. As night fell over Seoul, something fundamental had changed. Humanity stood on the edge of a new understanding. First contact wasn't a moment of conflict, but a moment of profound connection. The interstellar bridge was being built, one mathematical sequence, one historical moment at a time. Humanity's story was expanding beyond planetary boundaries. The universe was listening.